Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're listening, you probably know how vital it is to stay informed, especially with tech moving so fast.
Absolutely. Things change in the blink of an eye.
And today we're tackling something that's, well, frankly, a bit unsettling: AI-powered malware.
Yeah, it's a big one.
We've been looking through research and analysis from places like NIST, the National Cybersecurity Alliance, and Observer Point to really get a handle on this.
Right. And that observer point piece really nails what they call the double-edged nature of progress.
Mhm.
AI is amazing. It does incredible things.
For sure.
But that same power is being turned towards, well, cyber attacks. It's not just your standard malware anymore.
Exactly. We're used to malware that's, programmed to do specific things,
Yeah.
follows a script.
Predictable in a way.
Yeah. But this new stuff, it uses AI, machine learning, to actually learn and adapt. It can look at its surroundings, figure things out, and change its approach.
It's like it can think its way around defenses. It's a whole different ballgame.
So let's dig into that. How exactly does AI make malware so much more dangerous? What are the core capabilities we're seeing?
Well, one of the biggest things is evasion. Observer Point talks about how this AI malware can analyze the system it's in
Okay.
and then actively change its own code, its own behavior to look harmless.
So it's not just like polymorphic malware that slightly changes its signature.
It goes way beyond that. Traditional antivirus often looks for known signatures, like fingerprints, right?
Right.
This AI stuff can fundamentally alter how it operates, making those signature checks much less effective.
Mhm.
It might mimic legitimate processes or only reveal its malicious side under very specific conditions it learns are safe.
Wow. Okay. And that adaptability, that learning,
Mhm.
it must make attacks more efficient too.
Definitely. Observer Point mentions how AI can automate and optimize attacks. Think about it. It can analyze network traffic patterns,
Uh-huh.
identify the really valuable targets, the servers with sensitive data, critical
The
systems.
crown jewels, basically.
Exactly. And then it doesn't just blindly attack. It tailors its approach specifically for that target's vulnerabilities. It's much more surgical.
Less noisy, maybe. Harder to spot the initial reconnaissance.
Potentially, yes. It could be much stealthier in how it gathers information and plans the attack, making the whole process more sophisticated and, frankly, more likely to succeed.
And it's not just the technical side, is it? AI is getting scary good at understanding humans too.
Oh, absolutely. That's the social engineering angle. This is where it gets particularly insidious.
How so?
AI can analyze huge amounts of data about user behavior, communication styles, how people write emails, what topics they discuss, who they trust.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Right. So imagine getting a phishing email that isn't just generic spam. It's perfectly crafted to look like it came from your boss or a colleague.
Using the right tone, referencing current projects.
Exactly. It knows precisely what buttons to push to make you click that link or open that attachment. It exploits the human element with unprecedented accuracy.
That's deeply unsettling. It really blurs the lines.
It does. And that's why organizations like the National Cybersecurity Alliance are getting so active. Their AI Fools Stay Sharp campaign is directly aimed at this.
Yeah, I saw that. They're talking about voice cloning, deep fakes, things that seemed like science fiction just a few years ago.
And now they're real threats. They even suggest things like setting up family safe words to verify callers or trying their human versus AI voice challenge just to train ourselves.
It really puts the pressure back on us, the individuals, to be incredibly skeptical and aware. Our own judgment becomes a critical line of defense.
It really does. Technology alone can't solve this.
So, thinking about the bigger picture,
Yeah.
where does this hit hardest? Which sectors are most vulnerable?
Well, Observer Point highlights a few key areas, and the impact could be severe. Financial institutions are an obvious target.
Right, the money.
Exactly. But it's not just theft. Think about large-scale fraud, disrupting trading systems, undermining confidence in the entire financial infrastructure. The potential for chaos is huge.
And healthcare. That feels particularly dangerous given what's at stake.
It really is. You've got incredibly sensitive patient data, obviously. But AI malware could potentially disrupt hospital operations, maybe even tamper with connected medical devices.
That's terrifying. Life and death consequences.
Absolutely. And Observer Point references the HIPAA journal, reminding us of the huge ethical weight here, the need to protect patient privacy and safety above all else.
Then there's critical infrastructure, power grids, water systems, transportation.
Yeah, the national security implications there are stark. An AI-powered attack could cause widespread disruption, maybe even physical damage. It's the kind of threat governments are taking very seriously.
So, okay, the threat is sophisticated, it's evolving, the potential impact is enormous. What are we doing about it? What are the defense strategies?
Well, the good news is the cybersecurity world isn't standing still. Just like attackers are using AI, defenders are too.
Fighting fire with fire.
Sort of, yeah. Observer Point mentions this security pros are developing AI-powered tools designed to spot the subtle anomalies, the unusual behaviors, that might indicate an AI-driven attack is underway, even if it doesn't match a known signature.
Looking for patterns that just seem off.
Exactly. Behavioral analysis, anomaly detection, using AI to understand what's normal for a network and flag deviations.
But technology alone isn't enough, right? You mentioned the human element earlier.
Absolutely not. Collaboration is key. All our sources stress this. Security researchers, companies, government agencies, they have to share information, threat intelligence, best practices. This threat evolves too quickly for anyone to handle it alone.
And education. Making sure regular users are aware.
Crucial. That National Cybersecurity Alliance Stay Safe Online initiative, which Observer Point also referenced, is vital. We all need to be educated about these new tactics, like deepfake phishing or voice scams, basic cyber hygiene, plus this new layer of AI-specific awareness.
It sounds like we need a truly layered approach. Technology, collaboration, and human vigilance all working together.
That's exactly it. And underpinning a lot of the technical side, especially in the U.S., is NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Right, they set the standards.
They do. They develop the cybersecurity frameworks, the guidelines, the best practices that both federal agencies and a lot of private industry follow. Our sources note that OMB actually mandates federal agencies use NIST guidance for many systems.
So they provide that essential baseline for security.
Yes, and they're not static either. NIST is actively working on areas like cryptography, risk management, identity systems, and crucially, the security of AI systems themselves, and also the privacy risks involved, which often go hand in hand with security.
They cover a lot of ground: crypto, education, emerging tech, risk management, identity, privacy. It's comprehensive.
It has to be to keep pace.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The key takeaway seems to be that AI malware isn't just the next step, it's a paradigm shift. It's smarter, more adaptive, and poses a serious threat across finance, healthcare, critical infrastructure, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that sums it up well. And defending against it isn't just about buying the latest software. It requires this multifaceted approach. Advanced AI-powered defenses, sure, but also strong collaboration across the industry and critically informed and vigilant individuals.
And for listeners wanting to stay informed, those resources we mentioned sound essential.
Definitely. Check out the NIST website, especially their Computer Security Resource Center, the CSRC, and the National Cybersecurity Alliance site has excellent practical advice, particularly on spotting those AI-enabled scams.
Great resources to keep bookmarked.
Absolute.
Which leaves us with, I suppose, a final thought to chew on. As AI keeps getting more powerful, more integrated into everything, how does our basic idea of trust online need to change? How do we navigate a world where even the malware is learning to deceive us better every day?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something we'll all be grappling with.